Here's Tesla FSD 12.5 on hardware 3, driving 38 minutes through Los Angeles, parking spot to parking spot, completely hands-free, with zero interventions. Hardware 3 customers, don't worry. FSD 12.5 is great on hardware 3, and it's coming soon. Get $1,000 off any new Tesla when you use my referral code at tesla.coupons. Hey everyone, I'm here with my dad, and we've got FSD 12.5.1.5 on hardware 3 on his Model S, and we're going to do some testing, go check out some places. Let's see how hardware 3 performs. We haven't done too much testing with it yet since it's still pretty new. We did do a little driving before the video started. Pretty smooth driving. It made a pretty impressive U-turn in traffic. It really seems to have a lot of what's good about 12.5 on hardware 4. It's not exactly the same, but it really is the same model, or it definitely feels like it. Like that kind of maneuver where it pulled out, even though there were cars coming, but it gauged that it had enough time to do that. That's the kind of assertiveness you see on 12.5 and not on 12.3 or 12.4.
Well, the fact is that in past or two, like whenever you had an update and I had an update on my car, we drove both cars. There were differences between the two behavior on same exact release of FSD. I don't know why. Is it because one was Model 3, other was Model S maybe, or one was hardware 4? So they were never identical. So the key for me seems to be, now that I already had a couple of rides in your car, sitting in the passenger seat again, now I'm going to try to identify what would be different that I saw from your car, but it's very difficult to pinpoint anything saying, oh, hardware 4 would have done it this way.
Right.
I haven't seen any of like such cases yet where I can with confidence say that hardware 4 would have done it differently.
Yeah, it would be pretty difficult to tell in a blindfolded test which is hardware 3 and which is hardware 4.
True.
But that isn't really the issue for most people. Most people don't have multiple Teslas they're comparing against.
Correct.
For most people, they're just wondering if this is better than FSD 12.3. And I think it's going to be a big leap forward from that version.
The U-turn was just amazing.
Yeah.
So that it would previously was not able to do that, obviously.
Yeah, and you were like, wow, I've never seen it do a U-turn before, but
Exactly.
I was like, oh, 12.5's been doing that for, the last month.
Well, this is the first time this car got 12.5. So
really nice handling of the merge here.
Yeah. It's a very tight merge.
Spaced out, gave that truck some room to go, while we still had 2 lanes, anticipating that it would merge in the future. Really nice, smooth merge there onto the highway. Yeah, this is great.
So far, it's behaving exactly like your car.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind using this at all. I was driving my Model 3 a lot because of the 12.5 and the fact that it was so much more advanced. But now I'm here sitting in your car. It's a little roomier, a little more comfortable, a little nicer seats in the Model S, and honestly, the software doesn't leave much to miss for the hardware 4 version. So I think hardware 3 is back. And I think when people get this on their car, they're going to be pretty happy with it. Especially if they haven't seen the Hardware 4 version, then it'll just be the best version they've ever seen. But Ashok did say that they're not giving up on getting the full-sized model to run on Hardware 3. So once they do that, the performance should be even more identical to what I'm seeing on my car.
I went to the fast lane, then realized that now I'm 1 mile from 405 merge.
Yeah.
So now it's slowly going back to the right lane because the merge is on the right side. So that confidence of being able to change the lane without any doubts is just mind-boggling, especially in LA. I mean, I just came from another state, and there's no traffic in most of the other states. You know, it's easier for FSD to perform there.
Right.
There, with this bumper-to-bumper traffic, literally you have barely room for a car in between these cars.
And it's squeezing in.
And it's squeezing in, exactly. Look at the braking.
And look, the car is slowing down. Notice how it aborted the lane change because it saw that car braking.
Yeah.
It said, okay, let me wait for them to finish braking. Then it continued. So yeah, just the mental fatigue of driving in LA, and you're in the left lane, you're thinking, okay, what's my next move?
Correct.
Do I have to get over? Sometimes you forget, then you're like, oh shoot, and you got to do it really quickly. This thing just does it. It makes those decisions for you. That mental fatigue is gone. You can think about work. You can think about where you're going.
True.
And you don't have to think about, am I in the right lane? Or when should I start getting over? You know, this version I've noticed seems to be a little faster. Like, it chooses higher speed than even the Hardware 4 version.
Yeah. Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
That might be just the Model S feeling because it's a bigger car. Then the momentum is higher.
Maybe. It's a really good change onto the 405 there, merging on from the 110.
Nice. Wow.
Just doing it really smoothly and comfortably.
Watch for this guy.
Like a professional chauffeur.
Oh my God.
You see how it slowed down just a little bit because of that car? Okay, it's trying to get over. Oh, that's not good.
There's a lot of cars.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, very tight traffic here. It looks like it's trying to get over into the carpool lane.
Let's hope it makes it. Now it's a two white lines, so it can't get into carpool lane, but it knows exactly where the next opening is, so it'll try to position itself in the far left lane to be ready to get into the carpool lane, I hope.
Mm-hmm. We're about 15 miles away, saying it should take us about 28 minutes to get there.
28 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And looks like we got the carpool lane opening now.
Yep. That's exactly what it did.
And it got in perfect. Didn't have to worry about a thing, just turned it on from the parking spot. And it got on the highway into the carpool lane on its own. Pretty incredible technology. And did it with a 1.2 megapixel camera on Hardware 3.
What's the camera on Hardware 4?
5 megapixels each.
Wow.
So this one's 1.2 times 8, so it's 12 megapixels. And
Yeah, but each camera has a different angle, so I don't think we can necessarily add them up.
well, total input megapixels.
Oh, total input, yeah.
And then the Hardware 4 would be about
But
40.
Does it really need a 5 megapixel camera for what it's doing? Because it's not like it's trying to
No.
zoom in.
A lot of people actually kind of have this misconception that higher resolution is better.
No, it's actually worse.
Yeah, for deep learning, it can often be worse.
Slower.
Slower,
Yeah,
more data to process,
exactly.
and you really want to optimize for latency more than anything. You want it to respond quickly. And, like, you know, if you think about what do I need to see that there's a car in front of me, I don't need necessarily 8K resolution.
Correct.
Even with like a 100 by 100 pixel grid, I could probably see it getting bigger and smaller.
No, the cameras, I mean, unless we're trying to identify objects that are the size of a, let's say, a penny, right? You don't need that resolution because the objects that we're trying to identify are not the size of a penny, they're much bigger. They're cars, they're humans, right? So for that kind of resolution, for that kind of identification, 1.2 megapixel camera is more than what's needed.
Right. And then, they've obviously got 3 forward cameras.
Same in hardware 3 and 4?
Hardware 3 has 3 forward cameras, and hardware 4 only has 2 forward cameras.
Really?
Uh,
What? Oh, okay. So which camera did they eliminate on the forward?
I don't know. I think that they basically decided the 2 new cameras could actually cover all the things the cameras could do before.
I thought it was different lens types.
Yeah. So they made adjustments where they only have 2, but then some hardware 4 cars like the Cybertruck have a front bumper camera now. So they decided, okay, let's move it into the front bumper for those bigger vehicles. Because the Cybertruck's really tall, sometimes you need that, I think, to find out how far away you are from the car in front of you.
But that one, I don't think they're going to use for FSD. That's just for parking.
No, I think they will use it for FSD too. I mean, maybe. I would think they would.
Because you would need a whole new set of training data for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably why it's taken so long.
Wow. Why did it exit the carpool lane?
Well, it's going to get off on La Cienega.
Oh. Yeah, that's right.
It decided that'll be faster than trying to continue on the 405.
Smart car.
Yeah. Driving like a local. You can come here with FSD and
Yeah.
it'll automatically figure out the fastest way to get there.
That is maps. FSD simply executes whatever the map tells it to do.
Right. Of course. We tap that route that it says is 1 minute faster.
This one?
Yeah.
There's a lane change.
This thing is just amazing. And to think that there are cars from 2016, 8 years ago, that are able to run this software.
2016 would have hardware 3.
Well, 2016 started with hardware 2, which can be upgraded to hardware 3.
But any 2016 that has hardware 2, they wouldn't be able to run this, right?
No, but anybody who bought FSD, they got a free upgrade to hardware 3.
Ah. Both lanes exit. Wow, do you see that?
Yeah, it's a little late.
Yeah.
A little late. My hardware 4 car doesn't do that, but there's also some randomness in it. It could be that it was just blocked and didn't see it or something. I don't know. Until a little bit later.
I think the car ahead of us was blocking it.
Yeah, maybe. So this is a really interesting shortcut. It saw that you can take the Century Boulevard exit and actually continue on to La Cienega from there without getting stuck in the 405 traffic.
Yeah, very smart.
That's like a...
Oh wow, this is merging. Now watch this. Oh my god, did you see that?
Well, yeah.
Wow.
Of course, what else is it gonna do? We would have hit that guy if we didn't let him go.
No, but the guy had to slow down, not us.
Well, it doesn't
His
matter.
lane was ending, not ours. But it was courteous enough to...
What are you gonna do? Crash into him because...
No, the guy knows his lane is ending. He would have slowed down. He should have slowed down. I mean, if I was driving, I would have slowed down if I was him.
Well...
Because this lane never ended, the one we were in.
I mean, you just...
Technically, the rule is the lane that's ending, that driver has to merge with caution. The other drivers don't have to slow down.
There's rules and there's reality. If the other driver's not slowing down...
Yeah, if it was not... But
then you're not going to hit them.
Yeah.
You're going to slow down.
I think if you look back at this video, I think our car, he was ahead of us, and our car was coming in faster. That's why our car slowed down.
I don't know. I think it did the right thing.
It did the right thing.
There was a merge, and the other car wasn't slowing, so it slowed.
No, it did the right thing. It just did actually better than the right thing. It did something that's courteous and that's safe. But...
Well, if it didn't do that, I would have had to take over within a few seconds.
No, the other driver would have slowed down.
I don't think so. They didn't seem like they were slowing down at all.
Yeah.
They were completely oblivious.
Do you think we were in their blind spot?
Their license plate said Alabama. They probably didn't even realize there was a merge.
You have a good observation, Alabama. That's the guy?
No. That's a different person.
Wow, watch this guy. Okay. Here comes the La Cienega traffic now. Look at bumper to bumper. And this is the fastest route, by the way, to our destination. Oh my god.
Sneaking through.
Yeah, stiff.
That's 12.5, all right.
Your car would have done the same?
Yeah. It's exhibiting all the same behaviors. This software cares about being quick.
Oh my god,
Look at how it's weaving through traffic to get us there more quickly. Older software would have just waited. This software says no. Let's go. People are moving in the right lane. Let's go around. And it got us there quicker.
Yeah, it's like a video game.
So before you would need to maybe take over and do that yourself, you'd get impatient.
Mm-hmm.
Now it thinks of it before you do.
Yeah.
And it does it.
Yeah, exactly. It did. It did think of it before I did. Omar, Church was saying he sent a group text to Salman and you.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, he's saying ask Omar to respond to the text with Salman.
Yeah, I'll respond once we get there.
Now, what's Salman asking though?
Nothing.
Okay.
He just said, text me when you get here.
Okay. So let's go there now, if we are nearby.
No. We have to go to these before they close.
It's 3:23. We should be good.
It's,
Isn't a Church's unit right here? We're somewhere near.
no,
Okay.
it's over there. Same place.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll text him.
Yeah, after.
Just text him, say will do, so that he knows you got it.
Well, I'll text him when we get there in 10 minutes.
Yeah, but he may have to go somewhere. At least he knows you're coming, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it will take us, a little bit to see the two places, so I'll text him when we get there.
I'm saying let's give him an ETA, 4:30 maybe. Actually, yeah, 4:30 would be a good ETA. That way, if he has to go get groceries or something, he can go do it.
Alright, why don't you just take my phone and text him?
Can you unlock it? Pink slip loans. Only in LA.
What does that mean?
Pink slip. You know what a pink slip is?
When you get laid off?
When you get laid off. So if you get laid off, you need money, they give you a loan. You're right about the car being 12.5 being more assertive than 12.4, significantly more. It's noticeably assertive.
Yeah, it's really human-like.
Yeah. And you're right about being a little bit faster. The way it came off of La Cienega and the way it braked and all of that, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like a professional driver.
I know. It's getting to be like a professional chauffeur. It's clear that, Elon and Karpathy had incredible foresight here. They were about 10 years ahead of their time. But they saw that you could actually get this to be safer than a human with computer vision. And that's exactly what's playing out. It's going to leapfrog human safety in pretty much every way you can measure.
Yeah.
And it'll be like a professional stunt driver in terms of its capabilities.
Well, one of the things that sometimes bothered me, and I would take over in a situation like this, I'm in a hurry to get someplace, and if I'm late, the place would be closed. And then it's having this really traffic congestion right this. And FSD was trying to be FSD, was just following the rules, being patient, and not changing the lanes and all of that stuff.
Right.
So I was like, come on, I gotta go, So I would just go between the cars and make it happen. Whenever I see an opportunity to go faster,
Right.
I would. But now with 12.5, I'm seeing it's doing that just like I would have done it. So it's constantly trying to find the best and the fastest way to get me to the destination. and it's no longer trying to be driving like my grandfather.
Yeah, it's really going to bring up user satisfaction. And that's really the key metric. It's not just miles per intervention. People think, oh, miles per intervention, like it's just one number. But being a little more assertive and actually maybe even having more interventions because you're being more assertive, but having a more satisfying drive where people want to turn it on and they don't want to turn it off and just drive themselves because it's going too slow, that makes a big difference. It needs to drive like a human. It
Totally.
can't just drive like a robot. Nobody's going to want to sit and endure that.
No, that's true.
So that's why the paradigm of learning from human driving is so powerful.
The the uh, the science of or the psychology of humans trusting computers drive the car isn't about just driving safe. It is about driving in a way that you're not
Yeah.
scared. So safety, you feel safe, right? That's very important. And then at the same time, you're not annoyed either.
Yeah.
You're not like, oh my god, come on, go now. Why? What are you
Yeah.
waiting for? That you shouldn't be saying that either.
Right.
So it's a combination of a lot of things. You want it to be safe, but at the same time, you don't want it to be too conservative as a driver.
Right. This is really has to be the most challenging software problem ever attempted. Where it's so complicated. You can't be too fast, you can't be too slow. It's like a tightrope walk. And if your calculation is off by 2%, you can hit someone, right? Like you think about the trajectory. If the trajectory it calculates goes off just a little bit for 1 second, it could hit the car in the adjacent lane. If it's lane change trajectory, if it misses a car, it could hit the other car. And yet it's driving for hours through LA and never making a mistake in a lane change in terms of its trajectory, in terms of keeping a gap to the car in front. Like the fact that it can handle traffic and sometimes people stop suddenly and all that, and it can do that with just cameras is just, I never would have imagined it was even possible with software before I'd seen it.
And remember, Omar, it's dynamics, right? It's the this is an axis that is dependent on time also, right? So
And then you think, I saw there was a bus there.
uh
Before I even saw that there was a bus, which was likely going to slow us down, it had already changed lanes over.
wow. So what I was saying is that the dynamics of it, like the car in front of you is traveling 60 miles per hour, and you're traveling 60 miles per hour, and the gap between that car and this car is 20 feet.
Right.
But if that car slows down from 60 to 40, that 20 feet gap is going to be zero in literally less than half a second, right? It's pure physics, right? And for it to be picking up on that change in the speed of the car ahead of you, and therefore, look at that building. I never seen that building before.
What an ugly building.
I think it's an interesting building. All the staircase on the outside and all that. Wow.
I mean,
Has that always been there? Is there something new?
It's relatively new.
Yeah.
But
it's an architectural statement. It's like the crooked road in.
But aren't you blocking out a lot of people's windows?
You are. You're actually. Making the building look non-symmetrical also, and it's very difficult to design it too, considering LA is an earthquake zone. But somebody had money and the architect wanted to go crazy and said, yeah, this building will be remembered. Oh, it's that building with a weird staircase on the outside, sticking hands like, yeah, I remember that building. So we're 8 minutes to destination. My God, that building. I want to read about it now.
So they got this train now here, and you can actually take it from downtown to Santa Monica,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Train in LA is not cool. Nobody seems to be
Well, I
liking
mean,
it.
when I was growing up, we didn't have a train like that. It didn't exist.
Yeah, that's true.
So now it's nice that they at least have it.
Yeah. I am hoping that they would take the train to SoFi Stadium and the other stadiums for the 2028 Olympics,
Mm-hmm.
because if they drop you 3 miles from SoFi Stadium, what are people gonna do? Uber from there? No, they'll end up taking cars. It'll be a nightmare. So they should work on those trains. Or they're claiming that they'll put buses, but that's not the same.
Yeah, traffic's gonna be crazy.
I can't wait for having a car be driving by itself in 2028 election. You can showcase that to the rest of the world.
Olympics, you mean?
Yeah, Olympics. Yeah, I'm sorry. 2028 Olympics. Yeah.
Well, and there'll be an election too, actually.
There'll be what?
There'll be an election too.
Yeah, that's true. There'll be a presidential election too. But election November, Olympics is in June, July, so hopefully. So they built this parking structure for the metro.
Mm-hmm.
So you can come in here, park here,
And then
to Santa
take the
Monica.
train to Santa Monica
Yeah.
or downtown.
Where does it drop? In Santa Monica, does it go all the way to 3rd Street?
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, behind the bus.
Well, it has to make a right onto Fairfax up ahead.
Oh,
so.
okay. Did you get another message from him?
Mhm.
Can you check?
He said, okay, done.
Okay. I love that. So human-like. Oh, I can stop. No, I just can't stop. Let's just go.
Really nice getting into the right turn lane there.
Mhm. There are no homeless in LA. Actually, it's reduced quite a bit. I don't know what they did with them, where they are.
Well, now they're allowed to kick them out. Before, they were court prohibited from doing so. So that's been kind of controversial. Hey, there's a Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Cyber Beast.
How do you know?
It has a logo on it.
Uh-huh. Did you get the park assist on your Cybertruck?
Mm-hmm.
Did you try it?
Yeah, it's just the visualization. It's not the actual auto park.
In the garage. When you get
Yeah.
in the garage, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah, definitely. It's cool.
This is a big car.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how good is this area? I'm not quite sure. I'm not liking the neighborhood. Looks kind of shady. Oh my god. The two double yellows for California. What do they call that? Suicide lane or something? And a dip here. Go slow, baby. There you go. Wonderful. Perfect. So nice. Couldn't ask for more. Well, this spot looks good, but the street out there didn't look that good. This the house? Perfect. All right.
Zero intervention drive. Parking spot to parking spot. Pretty impressive.